My roommate called me selfish for refusing to crate my service dog so her boyfriend could move in. I'm 23. I have narcolepsy and I use a trained service dog who warns me before I crash. She's been with me 2 years and she's the reason I can live on my own. My roommate is 19. Last week she said her boyfriend who's 30 wanted to move in. I said okay, but we needed a house meeting first. We sat at the table. I asked about chores, noise, and guests. He said he's uncomfortable with dogs and wanted her crated when he's home. I told him she isn't a pet, she's a service dog and has to move with me so she can alert me anywhere in the apartment. He nodded like he heard me, then said his comfort mattered because he'd be paying rent too. He suggested I keep her in my room. I said that would stop her from doing her job and put me at risk. He pushed again. He said he gets it, but creating her would be better for him. My roommate stared at me like I was the problem. I said, no, this is a medical accommodation, not a debate. He rolled his eyes. She said I was being inflexible and ruining her relationship. She said I was choosing a dog over her happiness. I kept my voice even. I said, the dog isn't optional. If the rule is a crate, I can't live here. My sister told me to meet them halfway and keep the dog in my room more. I told her that's not how a service animal works. My roommate cried and said she can't afford the place alone. I said, I'm not trying to hurt her, but I won't risk my safety. Right then my dog bumped my knee, gave her alert, and stared up at me. I felt a heavy wave start behind my eyes. I lay down and set a timer like I've been trained to do when she warns me. She curled against the couch and watched me. 10 minutes later I sat up and drank water. Nobody said much after that. That night I checked our lease and the law. The lease allows service animals anywhere I am. It also says no new tenants without landlord approval. I called the office and asked general questions. They said a service animal can't be restricted and any added occupant needs to be screened and added. I emailed myself a note. 2 days later my roommate asked for another talk to clear the air. I agreed because we still had to share a kitchen while I figured out what to do. She said she thought about everything and was sorry. 5 minutes in her boyfriend came in carrying a bag of dog treats and a tray with cheese and crackers. He set the treats on the coffee table and tried to hold one out. I said, please don't feed her. She's working. He pulled his hand back. He sat down and apologized. He said he talked about the fight in therapy and realized he was being selfish and ignorant about service animals. He said he's house hunting and wants to avoid renewing his lease, so he hoped to stay for 3 or 4 months. Then he offered to pay half my rent and cover my dog's food. He said it was the least he could do after acting like that. My roommate squeezed my arm and said they wanted to make it right and keep the peace. I didn't answer right away. He said he understood and left. My roommate and I took the snacks to a park and ate on a blanket. She said she wanted me to be comfortable first and that she was sorry for how she spoke to me. I said I'd sleep on it. My sister said, take it. My mom said, be careful. Late that night I woke up to voices through the wall. It sounded like he'd come back after I fell asleep. I heard laughter. A movie starting to sync the bathroom door. Around 2 o'clock I heard the bedroom door close. Around 6 o'clock the shower ran again. My dog hopped up and nudged my hand for a morning walk. I stared at the ceiling and wondered if this would just turn into him staying over forever without being on the lease. In the morning I made coffee and asked my roommate if we could talk privately. I thanked her for the apology and the picnic. I told her I'd thought hard about it. I said, I can't live with someone who dismissed my medical needs on day 1. I said, I need to feel safe at home and my dog needs freedom to do her work. She went quiet then said she understood. I told her I also heard him last night. I said, I don't want an unofficial move-in. I showed her the guest clause in our lease. Visitors can't stay more than a set number of nights without written approval. I said, I'm not trying to control her relationship, but I won't agree to a workaround. She took a breath and nodded.